Yo, do you like Tech N9ne? You should listen to Hood Go Crazy at least 3 times a day.
That's right, folks. This is Acid Roots and the rad Cyan back there, and I'm going to review Tech N9ne's EnterFear Volume 1. So I've been itching to get this Tech N9ne review started, and it's about time that we do that, considering it's actually been a while since Tech N9ne has been reviewed on Acid Roots. So I think that's definitely a good thing. So thing about this project is it's a very gloomy type album, but I didn't really have so much of a problem with that. I didn't have so much of a problem with that just because, that's typical Tech N9ne. It almost feels like he went back to horrorcore, but there's kind of a gimmick to this album, which is a strange thing about it. So it has a lot of lounge music. This really feels like something that you would kind of just be in some sort of hotel lounge or lobby or something like that, especially on like a dark or dreary kind of cloudy day or something. And it just feels twisted. But the reason why this album is really not going to score that high is, or this EP is not going to score that high, is just because Tech N9ne is not really just doing, you know, club songs, and it's not like I have a problem with that. But the thing is almost all of these songs on this project are storytelling. So he doesn't. The only song where he doesn't tell some sort of story is just the Yeah No song. Other than that, the other four are virtually him trying to tell you something in the format of just a sequencing type thing. So it's not just a song that's talking about brews and homies and bitches and cars and that sort of stuff. It just happens to be explaining some of the hardships that Tech went through. And to some extent, that's interesting, but in some extents, it's not. And the main thing, there's a reason why it's not that interesting, is just because of the stories that Tech N9ne chooses to tell. It seemed like he kind of veered to tell more stories from like his childhood and when he was in grade school and that sort of stuff more often than some of the stories I probably would have preferred to hear would be more of like his adulthood and maybe during the angelic years or something like that. I mean, you'd think Tech N9ne would have like thousands of those stories to tell, especially considering that he's been an underground rapper but still a millionaire for about 20 years now. So I was kind of disappointed that, some of those stories didn't really manifest. And Chris Calico, who has a scene stealing appearance on the last song on this project, I almost liked only one song out of the 5 songs, but I figured Chris Calico did such a terrific job on the hook, and really Chris Calico doesn't really take it back. I mean, he's not telling stories, he just puts a verse together that matches the vibes from BIB, which is But I'm Blessed. And I think he actually outdid Tech N9ne on that song. I don't know how many times that happens, but on this song, he definitely outdid Tech on the song. And, Tech was just kind of telling, some sort of, this early Tech N9ne years. And I don't know, it was not the most meshable type idea for me. So that's kind of the thing I was kind of wanting. I mean, considering that Tech N9ne is, in his mid to late 40s, I figured once again that he probably would have had an abundance of stories that he could have told, and even he could have taken it from like Too Short's angle and just kind of told it from like someone else's angle and just kind of said, well, this person, he could have asked one of his homies or something, what, that night where we all got fucked up on acid, what was your experience? Just is something that would have taken the parameters and not made it like strictly this is what I'm going through, just another perspective or something. But yeah, I don't like the idea of saying I'm entirely coaching, but I do. I mean, this EP is not going to score very high, let's put it that way. And it's mainly because of like the stories just not having the most valued of interest. I mean, I love the album cover. I love the title. I love the production. I mean, the production is outstanding, but this is the lyrics that really bog down this project, and it makes it kind of, past lackluster. I mean, for me to only like 2 songs on this project out of 5, I mean, that's not typical of Tech N9ne, and I figured that something could have been better because this kind of felt like a revamped version of KOD. I mean, it kind of has that similar feel, and you would think that this would almost be Tech N9ne back on his horrorcore shit, but it did not turn out that way. I mean, some of these stories were depressing. I think that they kind of fit like an autumn type feel, just a real stark and cold weather kind of thing, but the stories just didn't interest me. I mean, that was kind of the main thing. They didn't really pique my interest, and I felt like, from someone like Tech N9ne, who's seen as almost a top tier lyricist, I would have expected, the story material to be more interesting, but it wasn't. So that's kind of the thing. So I'm gonna give this album, this EP, a 3 out of 10. I would give it a 4, but I mean, it's kind of, you know, it did leave a bad taste in my mouth. I mean, I liked the theme and I liked the aesthetic and that sort of stuff, but I did not appreciate the, one of the primary components of this, which is the lyrics, which is more than half of that I didn't appreciate. So, but I'm gonna have to check out the music video. I do kind of think like the Yeah No, which did get a music video. I figured, I'm hoping that that's a real creepy kind of typical Tech N9ne type thing. But yeah, I would say the social score. I mean, for me to say how well it would play around some of your friends, I think Tech N9ne has enough presence to where it would work, but it's not very outgoing. I mean, it seems kind of to be in the direction that Eminem kind of takes, where it's kind of brooding and more inward based and kind of just self contemplation type stuff. So I mean that it does not have the most festive feel to it. So that's another thing that you could knock it for. I mean, I do like that sometimes just to kind of concentrate and see what the artists are up to, but there really was not too much personality on this project, so that's kind of the thing there. But alright, so 3 out of 10. And oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, so I'm also gonna say the 2 songs I recommend to you. So that would be Yeah No and then BIB, which is But I'm Blessed. Those are the 2 songs. The first song and the last song were the songs I recommend to you.